Hi everybody, thanks for joining us today. You know, there's a lot of different ways to catch walleyes. There's extremely versatile situations that work in a lot of different conditions. Varieties of hard baits and spinner baits and corks and live bait, and the list goes on and on and on. And then there's a whole series of the jig style baits. And day in and day out, let's face it, the most fun in walleye fishing is when you can get a bite on a jig. I don't know anybody that wouldn't agree with that. When I can catch walleyes on a jig, I'm excited. And I want to talk about 3 of my favorite delivery systems, style of baits for walleyes with a jig. I'm going to disregard jigging spoons, blade baits, and jigging wraps. That's a whole different subject. But I'm going to talk about soft plastics and hair jigs. Let's start with the split tail. This is a moon eye jig, and you got a moon eye jig, a 4-inch big bite bait, slim minnow, split tail, like there's lots of different colors in this thing. This split tail fishes really fast with a jig. It's what triggers the fish. And when you pop it, it swings on its side like this. It goes like this. Another time you pop it, it'll go like this. So it gets a roll. It actually kind of has a roll. It doesn't just go like this. Yeah, you know, it jumps around a little bit. And that's the triggering magic. And this bait fishes really fast. It's my first choice of the 2 soft plastic baits that I'll fish with. My first choice because I can cover so much water quicker. And if there's 2 of us in a boat, one person has the split tail on and the other person fishes a boot tail. Let the fish tell you what they want. But that's the way we'll start. And this baby, the split tail, because of the speed, it has that triggering magic, like playing with a cat, that they look at it like this, all of a sudden they snatch it. They can't help themselves. I love it. Then the boot tail. There's more boot tail soft baits today for every kind of fish that swims. This guy's probably the #1 selling shape soft baits in the world today right now. Everybody generically calls them boot tails. The thing with the boot tail is it fishes much slower than the split tail because it grabs water and it fishes like this. You know, it grabs so much water with the boot tail. When it comes in, a drop speed is slower. Everything is different. When you got to slow down and you needed some lifting and slower drop, where this triggers them fast, moves quick, this slows the bait down, all because of the boot tail. It grabs the water and it makes the bait go like this. Boom, boom, boom. Again, on a moon eye jig. Something about that little eyeball. You know, I used to think that do little things like an eyeball on a jig, can they possibly make a difference? I'm convinced it does. It can make a big difference. That's why so many fishermen today are fishing the moon eye jig on all different kinds of soft baits. Then, last but not least, the BMC Moontail Hair Jig. Oh, I love this bait. You know why? I helped design it. Took 2 years to make this bait what it is today. Sounds like a lot for a hair jig. 2 years, come on, Al, what can you do with this thing in 2 years? The magic behind this is the density of the hair. When it got all said and done, almost all manufacturers that make hair jigs have too much hair in it. This mixture in the moontail jig is incredible. It's the right density. Why? Put it in water and it comes alive. If you're holding a rod in the water, you could see this thing is breathing. It's like a living creature in the water. The more hair you put on her, it just becomes a clump in the water. It's just all matched together. Again, I'm a big proponent of big eyeballs on jigs. I'm convinced it makes more, it'll trigger more strikes. The moontail hair jig this past season, it was on fire for me. Where does this work the best? In warm water situations, these baits work fine. When you get in cold and clear water bites, this is the way to go, baby. It is magic. The thing is an amazing, amazing fish catcher. There's not another hair jig on the market for walleyes that'll fish the way this does. And the hook, you take a look at that hook. Walleye touches that baby, they're yours. They're yours. These are my 3 favorite ways when I can get bit, throwing a boot tail, a split tail, or a hair jig. Usually I'll have all 3, I'll have 3 rods rigged with 1 of each on there. And again, I let the fish tell me what they want. Hey, from all of us here at The Edge, you have a good fishing season. Hey, we'll see you on the water.